Have you ever wondered how animals seem to know exactly what to do without being taught or trained? How do they know when and how to hunt, build nests, or migrate? These behaviors are not learned or taught, but rather they are instinctual. Instinct is an inborn pattern of behavior that is characteristic of a species and is often a response to a specific stimulus. It is an innate behavior that does not need to be learned or taught. Instincts are found in a wide variety of animals, and they serve to help them survive in their environment. For example, a bird's instinct to build a nest, a spider's instinct to spin a web, or a baby's instinct to suckle for milk are all innate behaviors that are crucial to the survival of their respective species. So, what are human instincts? How is it possible that ancient instincts from the evolutionary process can still influence all our decisions while everything changes and develops in today's world? What benefits and harms do these instincts provide us? Let's take a look at the psychology behind it. Our evolutionary instincts are deeply ingrained in our DNA, and they have been shaped by millions of years of evolution. These instincts are responsible for our basic survival needs, such as food, shelter, and reproduction. They also influence our behavior in many other ways, such as the time we wake up, the foods we crave, and the people we are attracted to. Some of the instincts that have survived to this day are survival, hunger, thirst, sex, maternal, social, aggression, flight, fight, and curiosity. We'll take a closer look at a few of these instincts. Let's first take a look at the instinct known as fight or flight, which is the most impactful and that affects our lives among them. The fight, flight, and freeze response is a physiological and psychological response that occurs in humans and other animals when faced with a perceived threat or danger. It is an instinctive response that prepares the body to either confront the threat, fight, flight, or freeze in place. The fight and flight response is triggered by the release of stress hormones, such as adrenaline and cortisol, which increase heart rate, blood pressure, and respiration rate, while also redirecting blood flow to the muscles and away from the digestive and immune systems. The freeze response is also associated with decreased movement, lowered heart rate, and reduced breathing. This response is designed to provide the body with the necessary energy and resources to deal with the threat, whether it be physical or psychological in nature. The response is not always triggered by immediate physical danger. However, it can also be triggered by psychological stressors, such as a traumatic memory or a threatening social situation. Additionally, the fight, flight, and freeze response can contribute to the development of trauma and post-traumatic stress disorder. In situations where individuals are exposed to extreme trauma, such as violence, abuse, or natural disasters, the fight, flight, and freeze response may be activated repeatedly, leading to the development of traumatic memories and PTSD. In conclusion, while the fight, flight, and freeze response is a natural and important survival mechanism, it can also have negative effects on individuals in modern times. It is important for individuals to be aware of the potential negative effects of the fight, flight, and freeze response and to seek support and treatment when necessary. There are many instincts, such as the fight, flight, and freeze response, that still influence our actions and way of life today. For example, our evolutionary instincts play a role in our choice of partners. Our ancestors had to choose mates who were healthy, fertile, and genetically diverse to ensure the survival of their offspring. This is why we are attracted to people who have symmetrical faces, clear skin, and a healthy physique. Instincts also influence our food preferences. Our ancestors had to eat whatever was available to survive, so they developed a taste for high-calorie foods, such as fats and sugars. This is why many people crave junk food, even though it's not good for their health. In addition to all of this, our sleep and wake schedules. The times when we are most energetic or creative are also determined by our instincts that come from the evolutionary process. Even the hours during which we are most productive at work are determined by the way our ancestors lived. Let's look into the details. Circadian rhythm is a term that derives from the Latin word circa, about and dies, and day, meaning approximately a day. It refers to the endogenous biological clock that regulates various physiological processes in a 24-hour cycle. Circadian rhythm is essential for maintaining homeostasis and synchronizing our internal state with the external environment. It is synchronized with the 24-hour cycle of light and dark in the environment and is controlled by a master clock in the brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. The origin of the circadian rhythm can be traced back to the earliest forms of life on Earth. Cyanobacteria, which are photosynthetic bacteria that appeared about 3.5 billion years ago, have been shown to exhibit circadian rhythms in gene expression and cell division. Circadian rhythm is influenced by our evolutionary instincts, which have adapted to the changing seasons and day lengths over millions of years. It helps us to anticipate and adapt to the daily changes in light, temperature, food availability, and social interactions. Circadian rhythm also influences our sleep quality, mood, cognition, immune system, and metabolism. In today's conditions, night owls and early birds are two common chronotypes, which refer to the preferred timing of sleep and activity. Night owls tend to go to bed late and wake up late, while early birds tend to go to bed early and wake up early. These differences in chronotypes are partly determined by the length of the circadian rhythm, which varies slightly among individuals. It has been suggested that a circadian rhythm of fewer than 24 hours predisposes one to the morning chronotype, while a longer than 24 hours clock may make for the night owl chronotype. In addition to genetics, the daily routine, age, and other health conditions may also contribute to the chronotype. Night owls and early birds differ not only in their sleep-wake cycle, but also in their physiological and psychological processes throughout the day. For example, night owls tend to have higher body temperature, blood pressure, and cortisol levels in the evening than in the morning, while early birds show the opposite pattern. Night owls also tend to perform better on cognitive tasks that require creativity, flexibility, and problem-solving in the evening than in the morning, while early birds show the opposite pattern. Furthermore, night owls and early birds may have different personality traits, such as extroversion, openness, conscientiousness, and neuroticism. Being a night owl or an early bird may have some advantages and disadvantages, depending on the social and environmental context. For example, night owls may have more opportunities to socialize, enjoy the nightlife, and pursue creative hobbies in the evening, while early birds may have more time to exercise, meditate, and plan their day in the morning. However, night owls may also face more challenges in adjusting to the conventional schedule of work, school, and society, which is typically designed for early birds. This may result in chronic sleep deprivation, impaired performance, and an increased risk of health problems for night owls. Modern lifestyles can disrupt circadian rhythm, which can have negative consequences for health and behavior. One of the main factors that can disrupt the circadian rhythm is artificial light, especially blue light emitted by electronic devices, such as smartphones, computers, and TVs. Artificial light can suppress the production of melatonin. This can make it harder to fall asleep at night and wake up in the morning, especially for night owls who are already prone to delayed sleep phase syndrome. Another factor that can disrupt the circadian rhythm is shift work, which involves working at night or rotating shifts. This can lead to reduced sleep quality and quantity, impaired cognitive function, increased risk of accidents, and higher incidence of metabolic, cardiovascular, and psychiatric disorders. Despite all this, you must remember that instincts can be maladaptive or harmful in some contexts, such as when they trigger excessive or inappropriate fear or aggression. Also, they can conflict with other instincts or goals, such as when they interfere with social or moral norms. And finally, they can be overridden or modified by learning, experience, or culture, making them less predictable or effective. Therefore, instincts are not the only or the best explanation for human behavior. Humans also rely on other psychological processes, such as cognition, emotion, motivation, and social influence, to guide their actions and decisions. These processes can interact with instincts in complex and dynamic ways, sometimes enhancing them, sometimes inhibiting them, and sometimes creating new behaviors that are not based on instincts at all. Especially, the information brought by the modern age, cognitive developments, and our new way of life will gradually refine and change the instincts left by our ancestors. The high level of human nature's perceptual ability and control capacity, which sets us apart from other animals, will also re-evolve the instincts left by our ancestors. Evolution will continue to change all living beings. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends. You can write your thoughts and ideas about the video in the comments. See you next time.